Hello, Sonic movie fans, and welcome to the 101st episode of the Sonic Movie Show. My name is Ethan, and with me here, as always, to talk Sonic news, and Sonic movie news is Devin.
A copy is still just a copy. It'll never be able to top the original.
Is that from Sonic Heroes? Or is that from Shadow the Hedgehog?
Sonic Rivals.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sonic, Sonic says it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's the theme of our episode. Copy. Because we're copying every other podcast. I'm sure that's already talked about this. But ours will be the best.
And I think we're not a copy because we've been doing this for 101 episodes. That's right, folks. The Sonic Movie Show is in its third iteration. We got a new cover art. We're doing cool stuff. We have a bunch of stuff planned. We had a fantastic 100th episode last week. Very much enjoyed
I'm more attractive
working
than
on
I
that
was
one.
last year. You can't tell, though, but you got to trust me on this.
You can take his opinion, sure, if you wanted to. Today's episode of the Sonic Movie Show, we want to cover a bunch of news. We have Sonic Movie 2 news, we have Super Mario Brothers, the animated movie news, as well as the 1980s movie news. I got a little bit. And so a couple other things as well. Why don't we hop into the Mario Brothers stuff? Or did you want to do Sonic first?
Let's do Mario because I think that's our biggest topic. And I think I'd rather talk about that because I think the other stuff's going to be short.
So our first Super Mario Brothers news. Months after I bought the DVD off Amazon, it is now like super cheap. Kind of pissed. And it was also like, for like a brief while, the number one movie on Amazon to buy was the Mario Brothers movie. Because people, I think, discovered it for the first time. And also, John Leguizamo tweeted about it, like, they're crazy. They're remaking the movie, but there are no Hispanic, actors playing
no
Mario or
Italians.
Luigi.
It's Italianophobia.
Yeah, probably. But you know what? They got Chris Pratt. Essentially, a week or so ago, a great September Nintendo Direct came out that aired all these video game stuff and yada yada. We don't need to go into any of that kind of stuff. Devin didn't even watch it. Some Nintendo fan over here watches advertising like intention.
Never claimed that. If anything, I think I've shat on Nintendo more on this show than I've loved it.
You can throw out your literal Donkey Kong Game Boy Color perfect box, mint and packaging, in the trash.
Donkey Kong fan, non-Nintendo fan.
Well, Donkey Kong's in this movie, and he's played by fucking Seth Rogen. Let's talk about this movie. A part of this, Shigeru Miyamoto came out and talked about the casting for the movie, as well as giving us a release date. No imaging besides a render of the question block. Later, Nintendo on Twitter would tweet that same render of the question block, but closed. So we have two images from the movie, potentially.
That's all actually they've worked on, actually.
Probably. I have theories. Shigeru Miyamoto revealed the casting for the film, but before that he also said that the movie is coming out in holiday 2022 with a North American release date of December 21st. I want to mention that first, and I think that's really smart for two reasons. Number one, I think in their mind this guarantees normal theater movie-going experiences by the time the movie comes out.
I hope so.
I think that to them that guarantees it. I think it's a pretty good bet if we're seeing a bunch of that stuff out now. This movie's doing okay in theaters now, only going to get better unless this all gets worse, which is always a possibility.
Yeah.
But assuming it doesn't, theaters will return to a more of a normal height by the time this movie comes out. And B, they're staying the fuck away from Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Because they fucking scared, dude. They're scared of our fucking boy because they know our boy going to kill it. It's going to make billions on him, and they don't want to even touch Sonic because they know it will lose. $0 in the box office. What will happen?
When Nintendo tweeted out like reconfirming the date for the film in North America, Sonic Hedgehog movie account quote tweeted saying "See you at the Oscars."
I like that. I like that energy. Yeah, fuck Mario. Bro.
Although I don't think they would ever compete because one's animated and one isn't.
I do want the Sonic movie to obviously be good, but I do like. I just want. I would love it for to be like so good that somehow Mario sucks and then Sonic gets his reign.
We're back to the 90s console wars when it was literally Nintendo versus Sega, Mario versus Sonic.
I want Sonic
and
to
they're
be so
doing
well,
it on the new
Sega
Pioneer
console.
honest
But
to
our
God,
idea
yes,
that we had a couple episodes ago.
that they clearly are listening to.
Mm-hmm.
No, but again, like, not even just, like, I know we're joking about them being scared of Sonic, although that is a proven movie that did a lot of money, and the sequel, therefore, will also do a lot of money.
I mean, if they both overlap,
Idris Elba in it.
they're both probably going to
Right.
suck,
But, like,
so.
there's no need for them to overlap. Why compete? It's not like superhero movies or just high-action movies in general. There's no reason for them to compete. Sonic did its April date, so April 22nd, I believe.
Yeah.
So Mario doesn't need to be around there at all. They can stay well away from each other, and they both
This is
benefit.
honestly exactly like Detective Pikachu. Detective Pikachu was, what, February, and then later...
Detective Pikachu was in the summertime of 2019.
You're right. And then the movie came
Sonic
out
was
February. So, I mean, it's still within, like, 6 to 8
less
months.
than a year.
Yeah, less than a year.
But again, there's no reason to compete with one another for this. For these, there's not very many video game movies, let alone kids ones, like the three of these are. And Sonic isn't even animated. You could also argue there makes them in different reigns altogether. But yeah, I think it's a good date. I just want to see more. I want to see a trailer. I want this movie to come out sooner, obviously.
I mean, with this cast,
but I think that's fine.
definitely want to see a trailer.
Yes. And this is the cast. So here is the star-studded, and I do say that financially, star-studded cast for the Super Mario Brothers movie thus far. Mario will be voiced and played by Chris Pratt, who actually did have you seen his Instagram or Twitter video, social media video talking about it?
I saw, but I didn't, listen to it.
Yeah, he sounds very weird. But he's saying how he played Mario Brothers in the arcade, and he would steal quarters out of the wishing well so he could play it. And I was like, oh, maybe this is bad karma, that I get literally what I want, like what I've wanted for so long.
Before we go, I wanted to say that since there's so many stars in this, makes me wonder what the fucking budget is on this.
Yeah, that's true, too. This budget could be pretty big.
Also, it's all animated.
And I have a feeling that, so, okay, let's back up a bit before we continue about the cast. This movie is being done by Illumination. They are most known for the Minions people. Yeah. They also did those couple of really corny-looking animal singing movies called Sing, as well as a couple other things. I will just say the original Despicable Me was a pretty heartwarming movie that's clearly aimed for parents, literally talking about the joys of having a child, raising a child. But the Minions are super popular, and that's where that came off. That's why we cringe at the Minions, is because of that. The first movie, though, I thought was pretty nice. They're the ones doing this movie. It's all animated, and we haven't seen anything about it since. We know that Shigeru Miyamoto is executive producer, and he went over there basically just to talk with them,
talk shop, and be
they just figure it out. He did say, if I don't like what I'm seeing, I will shut the movie down. Which I appreciate that he isn't going to let, just them take creative control and maybe make something bad about Mario. It's like, if I don't like what I see, I'm taking it down. But he also, he's done a few animated movies before for Nintendo, Shigeru Miyamoto. There's been a couple Pikmin short films. I haven't seen any of them because Nintendo would charge you to get them on the Wii U and the 3DS. And I'm like, I could spend money on a video game instead. You all could have just put this on YouTube as advertising for your game that isn't selling very well, instead of charging me to watch the advertising.
They saw the stats. They knew they were going to get that money instead.
Yeah. So he knows at least how to storyboard an animated movie. So he probably has ideas of how this would have worked coming in. Though I guarantee there's been a lot of things he never realized, and a lot of discussions that were like, yeah, but you don't understand Miyamoto. We need Chris Pratt. He is Mario. Why don't we go one by one and talk about what we think about...
he might have been, they might have said, here's some people, and he might be like, I love Chris Pratt. I want him to be Mario. We don't know necessarily if he was
It's true.
What's the term? Like you kind of just said, Hollywood's like, no, if you want to make a movie, we have to have some say. It could have been the other way around, where he could have been like, no, Chris Pratt, sure. I love Guardians of the Galaxy.
I think a bigger draw, I saw some people pointing out on social media, was the Lego movie. Chris Pratt is an upbeat, higher-pitched charming animated character in the Lego movie
Never even seen
that it
that.
does very well. It's a very good movie. That's the same team that made Into the Spider-Verse. And you can
Gotcha.
see a lot. They made that movie, they made the Lego movie look like stop motion Legos. And it's not. It's all CG, which I think is
I saw the
pretty
Lego
special.
Batman movie.
They did that too. It's not nearly as good. And there's also Lego Movie 2, which I didn't see. But Will Ferrell's in Lego Movie as himself, essentially. As basically the 40-year-old adult man that just builds Legos in his rich basement just so he can look at them. And he has a son that just wants to play with Legos, and he tells him no. That's the plot of that movie. I think I can easily see him being like, Chris Pratt is a winner. We need him in this. Star power. Maybe they looked at the Sonic movie and said they went really, really light on star power. They got Jim Carrey. That's it. Really, if we're talking about ultra star power, that's it.
I mean, yeah, Chris Pratt, like, whatever you think about this casting choice, at the end of the day, people are going to go see this movie because he is Mario. Not the other way around. People are going to be like, oh, I like Chris Pratt. I'm going to go see this movie. People who probably don't give two shits about fucking Mario are going to go see this movie. It's just, It is what it is. Whether you like this casting or not, there's a reason why he is going to be top billing, because it sells tickets.
We host another podcast called The Chronicles of Diesel.
Yeah.
And in recent episodes, we talked about the introduction and Dwayne The Rock Johnson in those films that we've been watching for that movie, and how he steals the show, and how he's a modern Schwarzenegger in the sense that he's in a lot of movies. Chris Pratt is the same way. Chris Pratt is the exact same way.
I don't even
that
think
is
Chris
another
Pratt
attempt.
is even like I don't want to say precipice, but just like at his peak yet. He's been in a lot of stuff in the last 10 years. He's been in like some rom-coms, but he started with Parks and Rec there, and that kind of like started his journey, at least from that I know of him. But like Guardian of the Galaxy, he kills it. He's one of the reasons those movies are great, and like he's only adding more to his repertoire. I think he still has a good like another 10 years of just being like the guy outside of his some of his shitty views that have appeared,
or just lack of clarification on
things,
views in general.
Yeah,
right.
But
very
I don't think
interesting.
it's going to stop him, and as long as he looks good too, that helps.
Right, and he's going to be animated.
Yeah,
so I think this is probably even easier than doing.
He doesn't have to get
ripped
for him. Yeah, he probably
right.
can.
I do just remember in Parks and Rec when he came back clearly after being in Guardians of the Galaxy filming, and they're like, "How did you get so ripped?" And he's like he was fat in the show. He's like, "I just stopped drinking beer. That's all you have to do." It's just the little tiny whatever. So he's Chris Pratt, or he's Mario.
He's also Chris Pratt.
Unfortunately. At Pratt, I think is his Twitter name. So tell him you're excited.
Do you want to go through the whole lineup, then say what we like, or should we? Do you want to say?
I want to go one at a time.
Let's do one at a time. Okay.
Next up, we have Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach.
Who I forgot who this was for a second, but once I looked her up, I'm like, yes, she's in The Witch, and she is in the one show last year, The Queen's Gambit, which was really popular and kind of like coincidentally at the same time when chess was becoming like a thing again. During quarantine, that like show came out the right fucking time, and I think it just did so well because of that. The show is good, but I think one of the reasons...
Was she the main character?
Yeah, she's the main chess player.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, and I've never seen anything with her in it, or at least if I did, she was minor, and I don't remember.
I saw The Witch, and that was in 2016.
I never saw that.
It's a horror film, obviously. And like, so I didn't remember her right away because she was so much younger in that film, because she's young. But yeah,
Gotcha.
I mean...
Do you think she would be energetic or upbeat, or just...
I mean, both her characters, from what I remember her playing, are just, I wouldn't say more quiet characters for the most part, but she does an amazing job, I'll say, in both. I think she's just better in Queen's Gambit because the character is much more fleshed out. And for its purpose, it's a TV show, so there's a lot more content to work with than a movie. I don't know. I mean... Once we talk about the whole cast, but
I think it's interesting too because Princess Peach doesn't have a whole lot of personality, really to work with. Mario is just very much like willing to go into battle, not into battle, but like willing to go and do whatever. He's He has just like
confidence.
this joyous view in his expressions and everything, right? Princess Peach, quiet, gets captured a lot, but she's in lots of sports games and in Mario Kart and yada yada. But like, she's kind of just Princess Peach.
I think
so I don't know.
Fine,
There's going to be a lot that they're going to work with that's original. I feel like, in how they portray the character, for sure. She's finally like playable in actual platforming games nowadays. You know, like she was in Mario 2 way back in the day, and then nothing till like a couple recent things. So whatever. Next up, we have for Luigi is Charlie Day, which for this casting, I'm like, okay, I can see a voice from him. I can't see a voice from Chris Pratt.
Outside of him just being him, Chris Pratt.
Or just the Lego movie voice, I guess. But even then, that doesn't sound like Mario at all. So it'll be interesting. But Charlie Day, I can see a Luigi out of him. I don't know.
What other stuff has he been in? He looks so familiar, but I don't know.
So the most famous is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay, that's probably where it is then. Yeah,
right.
That makes sense.
He was also in Pacific Rim.
Oh, okay.
That's actually where you get the crazy, the board behind him, and he's looking like really like he hasn't slept in days, and he's really working on this theory. That's from that movie.
I've seen that movie once, surprisingly, considering I love my kaiju movies. I've only seen that movie once, and I do not remember that scene. I always thought that was from the Sunny in Philadelphia, like because it just looks like his. I'll watch that movie again. I do not remember that.
He's been in a bunch of other animated stuff too, I'm pretty sure. And he's a good actor. He's obviously very high pitched and can go. I think he can do a pretty decent Luigi. You know? Yeah. Next up after that we have Jack Black as Bowser. This is the only casting where I'm like, yeah.
You could put him in almost anything, to be honest. Almost any of the characters,
sure.
And I feel like he could just find a way to make it good.
For sure. But as Bowser, I think that works really well. And, like, he has video game cred. He's been in games that aren't just, like, Activision hired me to be in Call of Duty.
I can't imagine Jack Black in Call of Duty. That'd be hilarious. Though.
He's in Double Fine games. You know what I mean? He's in, like, weird shit.
He also plays
games. Yeah, he has a YouTube channel for games. Although I think looked
at
it in years.
The bit is he doesn't actually play any games on there, right?
Well, for a while it was he never had the time, so they were just update videos of like, sorry, because a lot of what he wanted to do was go to arcades and like play not just like him playing video games, but like a culture kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I'm going to places and I'm looking. I think that was kind of the idea, but him being a successful movie star and stuff like that, you know, like he never had time. So a lot of it was just update videos.
I actually watched because I think it's Variety who does like the sit downs with all the actors and they just talk about all the movies they've been in chronologically. And I watched one with him.
Interesting.
And it was like 35 minutes, but it was really good. And I didn't realize that he was in. I forgot his band's name now. All of a sudden, Jesus Christ, Tenacious D. He was in Tenacious D before he was acting, and I thought it was the other way around. I thought he was an actor. Who like just really liked rock music and like obviously was talented enough to play it, and he made the one movie, the Tenacious D and the Pick of Doom or whatever, which is a fun movie. And I always thought like he made a band just for that, but like no, they're legitimately were a band before he ever got like famous and whatnot. So I'm like, that's pretty cool that like he stuck doing that. He didn't have to, and like his best friend that he had was that band. They still do music together despite his like star status. But I just learned that the other day, but I wanted to throw that out there. But yeah, I trust him to do a good Bowser. He's funny. He's just great.
For sure. If this casting was all different people, and it was all like a lot of new people or just, I don't want to say cheap people, but like not expensive people like these, and Jack Black was still here in this role, I'd be like, all right, that's their celebrity casting and that works.
That's their Jim Carrey.
Just like Jim Carrey, right? It would have worked easily. Next up after that, we have Keegan-Michael Key will be the voice of Toad. And this is where it starts to fall off the rails for me a little bit, where I'm like, how? Like, he can do high-pitched, obviously. And, like, it's so... Toad's going to have to be really funny. I
like Key and Peele. I've always liked... I used to watch...
100%.
I watched it all the time on TV. Like, a lot of people watch it on YouTube. Like, I like legitimately was like 9 o'clock on Comedy Central. Like, that was one of the few TV shows like I actively like followed. Like, and I was in college. I didn't have like cable or whatnot. I would find someone who did and be like, "Can I watch your TV tonight?" They're like, "Yeah, sure." And I'll be like, "I'm gonna watch Key and Peele." So like, I've always really liked his stuff. And I know he's done voice acting in the past. I just don't remember what. I just remember he's done cartoons and stuff. I'm sure he's done something for Adult Swim or something. I'm sure. I feel like a lot of these comedians do. But he was on Mad TV as well. So like he has the experience to, do characters. But yeah, Toad is such a goofy, high pitched thing. But I feel like he can pull it off. I'm actually
He was in Toy Story 4.
That's right. He was in Toy Story 4. He was great in Toy Story 4. He was cool.
Yeah.
Because him and Key and Peele were both in that, and that was like
Yep.
Yeah, that was Peele's first movie and or first something that he was acting in since Key and Peele, because at that point he was doing, or still is making movies or producing them.
He was also in The Lion King.
Yeah. He was one of the hyenas, I believe.
Kimari is the name. He's been in, I guess, all of the Hotel Transylvania movies, which I never saw.
So he has the experience of doing it. Like I said, yeah. So I think it's fine. I'm excited about him. So he was also in the new Predator as just himself basically, and it was so that movie isn't good, but he wasn't one of the reasons it was bad.
He was in The Muppets in 2016. He was in, remember Keanu?
Yeah, that's Key and Peele's. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was their one. I think that was the way they ended Key and Peele was let's make a fucking movie, and that was great. It was such a dumb fun movie. Yeah. So I like him in this.
Yeah. Oh, he was also in the Lego movie. Interesting. The next up, and this is the one that draws all of the ire, because it's how fucking lazy do you have to be? Seth Rogen is the voice of Donkey Kong.
Do you not like Seth Rogen?
And it's one of those things where I don't like Seth Rogen. No. I think he fails to make me laugh more than he succeeds. I think he's just much the same a lot, and it's just too much. Let me put it this way: it's very lazy and easy to just put him in an animated movie and be funny, be a character, when all he really is going to do is just be Seth Rogen. You know what I mean? I watched Sausage Party. That movie was terrible, and he wasn't funny in it. You know what I mean? It's a lot of
Ted, right, too.
Who is he in Ted?
Was he in Ted? That's a Seth Rogen movie. Very
sure.
Stoner
that was
humor.
That's what's his name, the Family Guy creator's movie, and he voiced the bear. Himself voiced the bear. So I don't know if Seth Rogen was in that movie, but yeah, it's very much and he's funny when he has his comedy partner. What's his name? Who's in Spider-Man 3?
Oh, not Tobey Maguire, but
no,
Franco.
Yes, James Franco.
Who I guess they aren't friends anymore, obviously, because of the whole unfortunate.
But they were a fun pairing. You know what I mean? It's just Will Ferrell and what's his name in Step Brothers. I'm so bad with names right now, but you get the idea. The shtick can go on a little bit when you have a partner, but I don't think Seth Rogen's all that funny. But I'm not super energized in how upset it makes me or just disappointed. It just feels lazy. And what's this Donkey Kong gonna sound like? It's gonna sound like another Seth Rogen character. I don't know.
There was that one tweet that I think we retweeted with the account that I think we both saw, where they just had him just laughing clearly when he sounded like he was fucking high as a kite. 'Cause I know he's a big stoner, which is whatever. I don't care about that. But I think it's where a lot of his humor comes from. I think it's just very it just has that vibe. You know what I mean? That vibe of just I'm a little tipsy. There was a brief period of time where those comedy movies were after we had the Will Ferrell, Ben Stiller kind of comedy movies. We've gotten to we had that brief time from 2009 to 2015, I would say, of all those Pineapple Express, The Hangover kind of movie. That's his thing.
That's his era.
That's his era, which is fine. If you like that, that's cool. It had its time. But comedy, in terms of mainstream movie comedy, I think changes over time. I don't know what it is now because I don't really watch too many comedy movies. But yeah, he just I get what you're saying. I think he'll be fine. but I don't think he's going to blow me away. And I'm a Donkey Kong fan, as we know. So I guess I give it a C plus.
Next up,
we didn't give anyone else ratings, but we gave that one a C plus.
And Bowser would be an A, in relative to everyone else for sure. Next up, Fred Armisen will be voicing Cranky Kong. Fred Armisen is from the famous show Portlandia, which was funny. It is funny, awkward humor. He's a weirdo, and this was before like the Me Too movement, but there are a lot of women saying he's very fucking weird, and like, just please don't talk to him weird. I don't think he did anything besides being weird around women. So that kind of always stuck with me. I'm like, yeah, I remember Portlandia. I can see him being like that in real life. But he's Cranky Kong, who is Donkey Kong's dad.
I'm more shocked that there's Cranky Kong in this film.
Here's my theory. So you're a big Donkey Kong Country fan.
Yeah.
You know your boy Diddy Kong.
Yeah.
Right? He's got his little Nintendo hat. He's got a red shirt with a yellow outline of a star on it. No pants. Well, Donkey Kong's naked besides a tie that has his initials on it. You know what I mean? Diddy Kong, well, first off, the game was made by Rare, a British gaming company Nintendo contracted a lot. Eventually they got bought by Microsoft, yada, yada, yada. But they made the Donkey Kong games. They also designed the character of Diddy Kong, who came about because they asked Nintendo if they could redesign the character of Donkey Kong Jr., who is basically a tiny little Donkey Kong. He's got no tail. Donkey Kong doesn't have a tail either. He's got a little, stuff because he's a gorilla, right? But tiny little, he's Donkey Kong's son, right? He's Donkey Kong Jr. Nintendo told them, no, you can't redesign Donkey Kong Jr. Hilariously enough, Donkey Kong Jr. hasn't been around since about the time of Donkey Kong Country. So it's kind of like, well, they technically did because the other character's gone. So they made up a new character called Diddy Kong. In the games of Donkey Kong Country, I'm not sure which one it is, it basically straight up tells you that Cranky Kong is the original Donkey Kong, and the Donkey Kong Jr. is the Donkey Kong in Donkey Kong Country.
Huh.
So Donkey Kong, who fought Mario, hella old now. Mario ain't. I have a theory that is a joke that they're going to do. They're going to bring that up in this movie, that idea. You know what I mean? I think that's why this character is in it. I am surprised Diddy Kong isn't in here, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, out of all the... at first, I didn't even think Donkey Kong was going to be in this film. I thought they were going to do more of a modern Mario, not based off the older... Well, I don't think they're going to base off the older one, but have other characters
like
in
Donkey Kong is still in like the Mario sports games and Mario Kart, but he's not in any of the Mario games.
That's what I mean. Some more
like
modern...
even in Mario Odyssey, he's not in it, and it's like a giant tribute.
So yeah, it's one thing to have Donkey
them.
Kong in it, but then it's another just like, we don't need Diddy, we need Cranky Kong. But I bet you're right. There's going to be that one scene, and it might be 1 minute, and that'll be the only time we see Cranky Kong.
Yeah. Which is interesting. I don't know how he'll be, but I can see him doing a cranky voice. You know what I mean? I played Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, and while there's no voice acting in those games, there's still voices for
there's apes.
Emotion and affects. And the Cranky Kong voice in there is just cranky, high-pitched monkey. You know what I mean? It works, right? Then we have an actor who I don't recognize called Kevin Michael Richardson. He is voicing the Bowser minion Kamek the Wizard. Kamek is a flying wizard Koopa character, henchman of Bowser. There's been a few characters that are like him in other Mario RPG games.
He's in Mortal Kombat. He's Goro.
Is he?
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's the Joker in the Batman TV show. Okay, so he's done some voice acting, mostly voice acting.
In which Batman TV show? Because obviously Mark Hamill is...
Batman. 2004 to 2008. I don't know. He's in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen.
Interesting.
Masters of the Universe. The remake. Robot Chicken. American Dad.
Interesting.
Owl House. Yeah, he's done a bunch of
So he's an actual voice actor.
Yeah.
Type of person. Interesting. He's Kamek. Not much to say about that character, but makes sense if they're going to have Bowser and Bowser needs someone on his side. They're going to put Kamek in or Bowser Jr. And I'm kind of glad it's not Bowser Jr. because Bowser Jr. is a little overrated in terms of he's in way too many shit and he doesn't deserve to be. And then Sebastian Maniscalco is playing Foreman Spike. Now, a lot of freaking websites, when they list off and link these characters, link Spike as just the generic Mario enemy called Spike, and not Foreman Spike. They didn't look at the fact that there are, like, when they showed off the headshots, they had the name and, like, the logo or symbol of that character, and Spikes is literally the sprite for Foreman Spike in the game Wrecking Crew for a Nintendo Entertainment System, which technically stars Mario, but I don't think they ever say it is Mario, but I think because the character that you play as looks like Mario, they decided that it's Mario. Because Mario was like in a lot of stuff around that time. He's the referee in tennis. You know what I mean? He's just done a lot of stuff on those old games because Miyamoto wanted him to be an everyman and doing every role. So that's an interesting character. Besides maybe appearing in like a WarioWare minigame somewhere in some weird, goofy Nintendo history relic thing, Foreman Spike hasn't been in anything ever. So that's very clearly
said something. So
in Foreman Spike is just like in Wrecking Crew. There's the Smash Brothers stage of it now, which is kind of interesting. Think of like, so you know Mario Brothers, the arcade game. He's climbing up girders. There are some slanted ones. He's going up and up and up.
Yeah.
Imagine if the girders were all parallel and there's ladders, right? And there are things for you, the character. There are panels in the walls, like the background panels, that you just have to basically hit the button, your A button there, and you smash it with your hammer. Some walls take 1, some walls take 2, and the goal is just break all the walls. That's it. Then you clear the level and you move on. Foreman Spike is like a shadow version of you that's just chasing you down, and if he touches you, you lose.
Gotcha.
That's it. So there's no story to it. I mean, maybe there is in the manual that says, "Oh, he hates you. He's trying to make your job bad." Maybe I don't know. Maybe he's a union buster or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, something like that. But like, there's no. So clearly, that character to me suggests they're doing something creative. They want to not do like
what you think you would do.
Like, what if this story is just simply like Mario lives in a city and these other characters are around and he's got a daily life or something? I don't know. Like, because they're basically just creating a character with that character. There's nothing really to work off of.
Yeah, they must be like trying to get like a mixed bag of things that people know, but also just pulling from things that maybe they're pulling from this kind of stuff, because if this movie does well, they can introduce the other characters without any risk.
Yeah, it's just like Sonic, right?
But there's still a lot of characters in this, considering, and once again, back to the star power, but there's a lot more characters in this compared to Sonic, so it's a lot more, I think, ballsier. Yeah. More pressure, I think, for it to succeed. If anything, I would say there's more pressure for it to succeed than I think compared to Sonic, considering the cast and whatnot.
Yeah, and because
the IP, it's fucking Mario. Like,
right, most Mario things are excellent. Most Mario things are excellent, let alone good. I would say everything that's Mario is at least good. Sonic, it's not really letting you down much if he fails, because he did it so many times, right? So I agree with you 100%.
The only thing Mario has failed on is movies. For people who are... We like the Mario movie.
I think the fact that the DVD became #1 on Amazon for a while suggests a lot of people didn't know that there was a movie, which is Nintendo doing its silencing job very well.
Yeah.
Again, I've talked about this before. Nintendo wanted you to forget about that movie. Nintendo wanted you to forget about the Virtual Boy. When I see like websites rank Nintendo consoles and they put in the handhelds, that no one ever puts in the Virtual Boy, it seems like, because Nintendo did their job in telling you that it didn't exist. Eventually, they're going to tell you the Wii U doesn't exist.
Nintendo is the CIA of video games. They're good.
They also killed Martin Luther King Jr.
Well, when they, I meant more just like they're good at like keeping shit under wraps, and then if anyone finds it, it doesn't blow up. Like
a good example of that, Foreman Spike, never mentioned by the company. I guarantee it in decades.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, it's a thing. I guarantee this. I want to throw out this statistic. Fight me in the comments. 95% of Nintendo fans have no idea what this character is.
95?
No idea. 95%.
For people who identify as a Nintendo fan, yeah.
Exactly. People say, like, oh, I love Nintendo. Especially because there's so many, like, really young Nintendo fans, Zoomers, our age and younger. And I would even say some of them our age, because Mario was older than us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're 26. Mario came out in 82, 85. If you want to be technical on which, do you count Donkey Kong as Mario or Super Mario Bros? Regardless, right? Yeah. Exactly, right? So there's Mario things that like we did not play day one.
Almost 10 years.
And then people younger than us didn't play the shit that we played Nintendo games wise when it came out, right? So I see lots of like Nintendo fans being like, why can't they make a Paper Mario like the good old days in the GameCube? And I'm like, bitch, that game is older than you. What are you talking about? You're just saying that because you want to, and it's fine, but like it's different context. Form and Spike is guaranteed, and that Wrecking Crew game, that game's not even fun. It's interesting, it's not fun. I played it a bit, moved on. Tried it when it came on another Nintendo console, played it a bit, moved on. It's interesting. Wanted to say I played it. I know who the character is. I recognize the sprite, although it's like a drawing, not necessarily the actual pixels, but like interesting. Yeah. And then, of course, you can't have a Mario thing without the Guinness World Record holder for the most credits in video game voice acting of all time by a very large margin, Charles Martinet, the actual voice of Mario since forever. He is involved.
What does that mean? Is he helping them act the characters? Is he helping?
I have a
Chris
feeling
Pratt?
he's a voice coach.
Or
honest to God, I bet he's a voice coach.
So? Or is he just there to be like, good job, guys? Cheerleading.
I've seen this man.
What do you think?
Basically,
like, looks good, and then he walks out. That's
probably collect a check.
Exactly.
I love
he's executive
little fact
producer
about him. He's the voice of the big good guy dragon in Skyrim that's on your side, Parthenax or whatever his name is.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah, I've seen this man basically do improv in various Mario characters on the fly. Nintendo used to way back in the day, in like the 90s. Probably is. Back in like the 90s, I don't know if it was necessarily E3 itself, but another trade show Nintendo did called Space World. They would set up a booth. He would sit in there. They would have some sort of facial capture, something where they could capture his face movements. They had a 3D model of Mario's head, and they had a camera that he could see outside. He would just talk to people walking by as Mario.
That's dope.
Just vamping off the fly as Mario.
Didn't they do that with Sonic? Yeah, I think
they might have.
I know Ben Schwartz, I'm pretty sure, did that with like younger Sonic fans and was talking to him, and like that was really cute. I remember seeing that on Twitter when they were doing like press stuff. But
yeah, this man used to do that.
They need to do more stuff like that. If you're a voice actor, like do that as a gig. Like, just go to these events and just make a fucking kid's life.
This man has videos on social media where he holds up little Mario, Luigi, and Wario dolls and does their voices and does little skits. Somehow he gets away with that. I'm surprised Nintendo doesn't sue him, but like, you don't sue the voice actor of Mario. He's doing it all in good fun. I saw this someone after the Chris Pratt, and this whole like news bit. Someone pointed out an old video of him talking about what he loves the characters so much. He's pointing all the personalities and what makes them human, how we see all these things in them. Like, the man loves his characters. So why isn't he voicing Mario? But he's voicing fun cameos. He's probably going to be a doormat.
Everybody, but they just say that all these actors did, and then no one finds out.
What if he's so fucking good he can do a Keegan-Michael Key as Toad voice?
Hey, we were just talking about how Nintendo's the CIA of video games. That would be a great fucking cover-up. They're like, yup, we have all these actors on it, and they just pay them enough money to be like, you're just here to sell tickets. You're not actually doing anything. We'll have you come in the office for a day so people see that you went in or something. But besides that, you're not doing shit. If anything, you can come in and just play Mario. All right, you can play the.
We'll pay you as if you did the role.
Yeah, we'll pay like you played.
To be fair,
we'll play like you played the game. Or you know what? Actually, you want to play our new Mario game we're working on? You can do that. All right.
Yeah.
Did that be has anyone ever? I wonder if anyone's ever done that before. Like, said someone's in a movie, then they actually as like a voice actor, and they're not. Is that illegal? False?
I don't know.
Because was that false? It's not illegal.
That'd be considered false
advertising. Right? It's not illegal though.
There's a lawsuit potentially about that though.
But I'm saying if the person was in on it, like let's say we had an impersonator.
Okay, if I went to go see the movie because of Chris Pratt and he's not actually in it, I would say it's false advertising.
We did a show with Arnold Schwarzenegger. We started to do it with Arnold Schwarzenegger. We contact Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's like, "Oh shit, I can't make it, but I'll send my impersonator to be on the show."
I would still say people would see the movie because of him, and that's a lie.
But if they don't know,
I guess if they never know, then you can never claim it because they never knew.
But I'm saying like it would come out like years later, be like, "Oh, actually, that wasn't Chris Pratt."
Well, I mean, the lawsuits aren't. There's no cutoff. I don't know. In any case,
I don't think you could see someone for that. You just be like,
this movie. There's a bunch to still learn about this movie. We'll find out over the coming months
because
it's a little over a year.
Movie show.
Sure, we'll do our own little. Who cares about Mario? We're all about Sonic.
Oh yeah, we should. If anything, we should be dunking on. Don't see this fucking film. You know, I hope it bombs.
I'm more excited about this than the Sonic movie too. I'm sorry.
You?
Yeah, just because I don't know anything about it and I'm so curious. I wanted to see how good or bad it is. I'm just so curious
what this trailer is going to. I just need to hear the voice actors.
Exactly. I am just so curious. I mean, yeah, I want to know how Idris Elba sounds as Knuckles, but like, I also saw someone else on Twitter point this out, and I'm not taking credit for this. Someone on Twitter said, finding out Chris Pratt as Mario is the exact opposite of finding out Idris Elba is Knuckles.
Yes.
100%. When Idris Elba just tweeted knock knock and had a render of Knuckles' hand.
I always want, and it's still... I like that timing.
I was like, no fucking way. I saw people on Twitter being like, no notes, this is awesome.
The timing was perfect
amazing.
Because Suicide Squad was peaking then. I saw the movie like 3 days prior to that, and I was like, Idris was great in that movie, and he's fucking Knuckles. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, Chris Pratt was like, oh, interesting.
Eesh. Let's talk about the Sonic movie too. We have some more confirmed casting. We always kind of assumed. I forgot his name for a second.
Jim Carrey.
I almost called him Jack Black. See, that's what we did. We called him the Jim Carrey of the movie, and now I got the Jack Black of the Sonic. Jim Carrey, we always assumed he was coming in, and then we kind of saw some confirmation in terms of like its like official synopsis and whatever, saying that he was in it. But we have a confirmation that he's in it, along with another character, Agent Stone.
Which I'm pretty sure we knew Agent Stone was in it because I remember when they first announced that they were doing Sonic 2, he was one of the people that like retweeted being like, hell yeah. So I knew he was always in it, but it's still good to see some confirmation on Twitter of them being excited. I mean, one thing is we were concerned that Jim Carrey wasn't in it because when they announced Sonic 2, there was nothing from him like on social media. Usually, I will say he's not like as active on social media compared to like I would say Ben Schwartz is or whatnot. Much older guys. I don't think he really cares as much about social media. He's gone through the press, I'm sure, and probably just sick of all of that stuff is when you're a celebrity of his age and legacy. But he still would tweet. I remember when that movie, they announced the second movie, he was like tweeting his paintings and stuff that he does. So it's like, okay, is he just ignoring it? Is he not going to be in this film? Does he not like being in this film? Is it just a paycheck for him? Probably.
Maybe they're still disputing his contract
at the time
over how much money he gets.
That could be it too. Yeah, there's so many things that could have been. And I was nervous because like he was one of the reasons that movie was good, and we wanted him back. I think it'd be weird now to have someone else at this point, unless you're doing like more of a cartoon version of him. Then maybe you could pull it off. But I think he did a great job. But yeah, he retweeted Lee Majdoub, who was Agent Stone. Agent Stone tweeted, "I'm back for Sonic Movie 2 one day ago." But like I said, like I thought he already confirmed it, but it's more just verification.
My question is, why is he tweeting this now?
I don't know.
I think there's an NDA or something of like you can't say you're in the movie.
Oh, because the Sonic the Hedgehog movie tweeted a picture of a latte, and like the cream was a picture of Jim and Lee. I think it just verified that they're both in it, and then Lee retweeted it saying, "I'm back for Sonic Movie 2. What, did you really think Dr. Robotnik could do this without me? Don't answer that. Anyways, happy National Coffee Day. # steamed Austrian goat milk latte." Fun from the referencing the movie. But then Jim Carrey retweeted that and it says, "I love the way you make him my trusty sycophant." I don't even know what that means, but I'm guessing it means like crazy or Or
Not
no?
really. Yeah, a person who attempts to gain advantage by flattering influential people or behaving in a servile manner.
Okay. Not what I thought. But yeah, so like
A reply guy.
but they both retweeted it. And I don't think the Sonic the Hedgehog movie account would have tweeted a picture with Jim Carrey's likeness as Eggman or as
Celebrating
Eggman,
the first movie.
I guess. But no, it says is back for like, but having him in it too, I think that would be misleading. So for some reason, if it comes out that Jim Carrey isn't in this movie, that'd be a huge blow and would
I'd be shocked that
misleading.
he's guaranteed in this. Because again, we saw the official synopsis for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we know for a fact.
But I'm just happy.
So.
I'm just happy to like see them talk about it because that also just builds in the hype that like that means it's getting closer and closer. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think we just wanted to talk about it because in case you missed the other episodes, maybe you were concerned too. I don't know. But I'm just happy to see it, and it does make me think that at least Jim liked his role and didn't just. I mean, everyone does it for the money at the end of the day, but it doesn't seem like there's any like. Not that I think there ever really was, but it's just more since he was silent, made it feel like he didn't care. You know what I mean? But clearly he does enough to tweet about it and be happy for a younger actor, you know, who's in it again.
Right? Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, I'm glad he's in it. I have a feeling he probably has a very small role in it because I assume
maybe it might be the other way around. It might be less Jim Carrey and more Agent Stone. Says Agent Stone's still on Earth. Remember, like, because Dr. Robotnik's on Mushroom Planet. It could be that Agent Stone is going to be doing more of the action on Earth, maybe. But we don't know. We've done plenty of episodes so far about what we think it could or couldn't be. But once we get a trailer, I think we'll know more of how much involvement each character has.
Well, I think this is a good stopping point for this episode, unless you have anything else you want to bring up.
I mean, there's various little small things, but it's not really worth. I mean, if you follow our Twitter account, sometimes I retweet stuff that maybe we've talked about in previous episodes, or at least something I find interesting, or usually it's related to the show in some capacity. Because there's some stuff we've wanted to talk about in the show in the past, but maybe we just thought it would be over. Our episode would be either too long, or be something so quick that it's not worth recording a whole thing on. So yeah, I would just recommend following the Twitter account if you're interested in other topics like these. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think this has been a fun episode, but we always end every episode of the Sonic Movie Show when we talk about news with our favorite book of all time, Sonic Movie Mad Libs, or the Sonic Mad Libs.
Is it a book?
It's a book because we're making it. Previously, we read through the official novelization of the Sonic movie, a very much for kids type of little book. We finished that off, and now we're doing these goofy little Sonic Mad Libs. Devin has a book. Yes, intentionally. Devin has a regular generic Sonic one, and I have a one based off the Sonic movie. It is Devin's turn to do the thing for me, but we will point out, if you have your own Sonic fan fiction, we'll also read that. Tweet at the show, slide in our DMs, mention in the YouTube comments, do something. Reach out to us. If you have some goofy fan fiction, we'll read it on the air. But yeah, I guess it's your turn, Devin.
Yep. What I've been doing is picking one random one. I know Ethan's been going in chronological order.
And we will never finish.
Probably. There's a good, there's no page numbers. I don't know. But there's at least 30, I would guess, in here alone, just for me. But yeah, I've just been picking random ones. I don't pick it based off anything besides randomness. I literally just open it, and I'm like, this is the one we're doing. So I want you to start me off with a noun.
Island.
Next is a person in a room, which we've done before and usually just means you. But
Ethan. I don't think I've ever had the person in room in my book. Maybe they don't use that.
Maybe. Color?
Blue.
Verb.
Yeah. Sail. A fun...
Noun?
Snail.
A place.
France. Favorite...
Plural noun.
Buttons. Or the Sonic
Mad.
Math.
Silly word.
Hemorrhoid. Previously, we read through the...
I don't even know how to spell that.
Movie.
As long as I know how to read it.
For kids, a little
noun.
book. String.
Adjective.
Square.
Noun.
Sega Dreamcast.
Exclamation.
Zoinks. Sonic.
Noun.
Information.
Bringing a lot of stuff, I feel like we'll see, but like just words that I just feel like just won't work with anything, but we'll see.
Trying my best. I'm sorry.
Verb.
Sliding our deep. Pleasing.
No.
To please.
Verb. That's like
that's a verb.
Pleasing, I think, is an adjective.
I will please you.
I guess, yeah.
This pleases me. I was pleased.
Thinking of it more of as like they look pleasing. Noun.
Plate. So what's it right to the left of me?
You said late or plate?
Plate.
BL8.
P. Plate. Eat food off plate.
I was like, plate? Plural noun.
Sycophants. Look at the tweet. You'll see the spelling.
Sycophants?
Well, Jim Carrey called him.
Oh, I was like, what? Well, because I misheard you earlier, so I'm like, am I mishearing him again? Sycophant. Adjective.
White.
Plural noun.
People.
I guess it'd be peoples. Plural noun. Peoples.
People is plural.
Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. All right, you ready?
Si, senor.
Can you guess what this one's going to be about? It's based off a character. It's everyone's favorite.
Iggy Azalea.
Close. Amy Rose.
I guess.
Have no fear. Amy Rose is here. Amy Rose is a fun-loving island who has had a crush on Ethan for a long time. This blue hedgehog would only sail her crush from afar, but after many adventures, she joined Team Snail and has sworn to protect ants from evil buttons such as Dr. Eggman and his messenger Hemorrhoid. In countless battles, Amy has proven to be an amazing string and a square hero. Now she's a trusted Sega Dreamcast to Sonic. With a battle cry of Zoinks, Amy wields her signature weapon, the imposing information hammer, which sounds way too deep and like I don't even know.
It's like saying the deep state.
Yeah. Which has the power to please any plate it strikes. When Amy's not fighting to defend weak sycophant from white bullies, she enjoys cooking up delicious people for all her friends to enjoy. This one was weird. Yeah. But I guess you have a crush.
Oh, I'm honored. Excited even. Just got a pleasing...
Sight is an island. Plural.
Eats people.
I guess islands can eat people when I feel like you die in bowls. Buried, that's like eating.
Or a volcano, you fall in the island.
Yeah.
Crevice.
Yeah,
you know?
That's how islands work.
I used to think islands floated. You are.
I don't know how they work, really. So they floated.
It's a mountain.
It's everyone's favorite. Huh.
Iggy Azalea. Yeah.
Amy.
You can't swim underneath an island unless there's a tunnel. Yes.
Have no...
This show also has a tunnel underneath it. The tunnel is called our Twitter account, which you can make above land by following at Sonic Movie Show. Look at all of our tweets. Retweet them. Quote tweet them. Say they suck. I'll like them anyway because you're actually just joking. Tweet at me at Ethan Absolutely something. Tweet at Devin at Cursona Fun Hate Mail.
Please
do. Or your or your fanfiction. Only tweet at him your fan. Don't tweet at me your fanfiction. You know what? Do this. Tweet at the show your fanfiction. Tweet at me loving messages and tweet at Devin fan art.
I don't even know
of Sonic.
I'll take fan art. I like art, so
doing things.
Any plate it. Sure.
We also have the Chronicles of Diesel that's up. Boy, we are so tired. We recorded another episode of the Chronicles of Diesel right before doing this, and we're really tired. This is not the energy you will see from the next 50 episodes or so of the Sonic Movie Show. I know we got a new cool-looking show art. We do have a bunch of cool ideas on the horizon, though. Some things we've been thinking about and trying to figure out how to work on for a while. We're getting closer to doing them. And we just have a bunch of new movies to talk about. I'm excited, honestly. Like, this is cool. Basically, we're going to be talking about a Sonic movie and hyping it up and then reviewing it within the next 50 episodes. So that's cool.
Hopefully.
Unless it gets delayed.
Yeah.
Which it could.
I think it's more likely than not, but...
What if they use the old design? Just for fun.
They're like, fuck you. We're doing it. We wanted this. Exactly. Is the original vision. This is what you're getting.
Oh my god. Do the Snyder Cut idea, but it's the original animation.
Just bring it back.
For the first movie. Just for the first movie. Alright. We had fun. We'll see you later. Adios. Goodbye.
Bye.
Get out of here.